Previously in the Roman Republic. The time for war with Carthage had arisen, and the stage was set for Marcus Sempronius Sophus to engage in the First Punic War between the two Mediterranean behemoths. To take on Carthage, Marcus built upon the naval expansion project started by his predecessor to gain naval supremacy of the Western Mediterranean, which would be a decisive factor in the upcoming war. Marcus realized that his foe would be far superior to simple Italic, Gaelic and Hellenic tribes that Rome had previously fought. He knew that military reforms were essential to victory. On the 15th of February 477, Consul Marcus passed a Punic Reforms Bill within the Senate, allowing the Republic to create its first professional standing army, the Cohors First Legio Italia, a legion that will one day become feared by all in the ancient world. It was on the 7th of August 478 that Roman ambassadors delivered to the oligarchs of Carthago the official war declaration. The aim was to liberate Carthaginian occupation of Sicily and Sardinia. This led to a two-pronged attack, with the newly created First Legion seeing bloody combat in Sicily, whilst the auxiliary forces of Magna Graecia launched an invasion of Sardinia from neighbouring Corsica. While the armies were fighting on land, the newly created navy attempted the blockade of Carthage, trying to limit the number of reinforcements being delivered from North Africa. However, not all was plain sailing. After a successful blockade period, the Carthaginian navy rallied and engaged the Roman navy at the Battle of Sinus Uticensis, delivering a brutal blow to Roman naval operations and handing back control of the seas to Carthage. But Rome's will is great, and returned after a brief stop in friendly harbours to repair. The navy returned to the coast of Carthago, this time with the First Legion, and began to lay siege to the city of Carthage itself. However, once again Carthage rallied, mustering a sizable army, and decided to engage the Roman forces on the 4th of February 482. The outcome was a bad one for the Roman army, who retreated to their ships, then back to Sicily. But Carthage, now wary of war and with the possessions in Sicily and Sardinia under occupation, they decided that peace was needed. On the 5th of October 582, the treaty was formalised, with Carthage ceding all possessions in Sicily and Sardinia. Rome now has near entire control of Magna Graecia, bar a few small independent states, and this is where our story continues. In the months after the war, a new consul is elected, Papius Claudius Caudex, an honest, trusting and ambitious man from the prominent Claudii family. His election wrestles power back from the dangerous Populares faction, who had been in power for the past 10 years. His first objective was to decide how to administer Corsica. He settled on the old Greek port of Aleria to do nicely as a provincial capital, allowing him to import Roman pops of Roman culture to Romanize the lands. His second objective is to deal with the conquest of Sardinia. Now that the land has been taken from the Carthaginian menace, the consul must decide where to locate the principal Roman colonia, and he settles on the port city of Corralis as the most suitable land, attracting even more Roman settlers to Romanize the area. However, Rome's efforts to colonize Corsica have met a little bit of a hiccup. The population over there are getting unruly of high taxes, and making people move to this barren wasteland is proving to be difficult. The consul decides to lower taxes for the time being in this area in order to reassure the population that settling is the wise thing to do. The consul also invested in infrastructure by committing to a road building project that went from the city of Capua all the way down to the city of Heraclea, hoping to link north with south. By the 1st of October 484, the entirety of Corsica was colonized by Roman settlers. Now this objective had been achieved, the consul turned his attention to more diplomatic matters. Carthage, wounded and weak from the First Punic War, still represent a menace to the Roman Republic. Rome then decided to guarantee Massilia, an old enemy of Carthage, in order to limit their influence in North Africa. Even though the Corsicans submitted to Roman rule, Sardinia presented another problem. Sardinians wanted their independence for a long time, and here their local tribal chiefs were trying to rise up and have their own independent little kingdom. Rome refuses and insists that they will live and die under Rome's shadow. The dastardly Sardinians, refusing to live under Roman rule, decide to rise up and rebel against the Roman Republic, Rome shall not let this matter slide lightly. They will send over their legions to crush this rebellion and put the Sardinians back into their place. The rebellion didn't last long. The first Legio Italia took the capital city in no time, and then the rebellion was crushed, and that was the end of the Sardinian revolt. On the 1st of October 487, a new consul is elected, Lucius Cornelius Violens, a crafty but blunt man. His pledge is to take over the rest of Sicily and drive out the small independent states that reside there in order to unite the island under Roman rule. The time has come for Lucius Cornelius Violens to complete the first Provincia. In order to do this, he needs to do Sicilian Foothold mission, which means he must occupy the last remaining bastions of independence on the island of Sicily. We have built a few roads beforehand in order to speed troop movement down to the south, and we are going to start moving everybody down there now in order to try and strike. The first Legio Italia is going to be mustered in Messina, and we shall also be raising, of course, the extra levies all over the place in order to help us out in this matter. So we shall raise the levies over here, and we shall be raising the levies up north, and that is more than fine. These are going to go all the way down here, and you are going to go here. And that is good for us. Let's go. So, we have more trade coming in here, and a lot of trade from everybody. We are not trading with Carthage. That's never going to happen. These guys are our enemies, and the Second Punic War will be done fairly soon, I suspect. 489 is the truce he has with Rome. We shall be definitely going for another swipe at Carthage fairly soon in order to finish them off fairly quickly. The granary is raided. We've received word from local officials at the province of Tarentum that several important provincial food stockpiles have been looted by malcontents, owing to the contempt for the government across the area. It seems they hope to make tensions worse by forcing the hungry people to action. In any case, it will not be cheap to replace the goods. Anyway, our guy, Lucius Cornelius Violens, is a founder. He is crafty, he's merciful, he's blunt, and he's got diphtheria, which means he's basically dying. So, we can either replace the food stockpile, Sertor can cover the cost, the brigands will be caught and the grain returned, or the disloyal curs can go hungry. Well, we're a merciful man, so we're merciful, honest, blunt, and crafty. Well, I'm okay, we can make Sertor cover the cost. Since we're kind of crafty, we go, well, yeah, we can get you to replace it. That means the people will be happy. They're not going to be angry at me, but we don't have to pay anything out of our own pocket. So Sertor can cover the cost. Sorry, Sertor. It's just down to the guy's personality. It's the way it is. Not much more can be done. However, Sertor is now very disloyal. Now, what are we like a bribable type? I mean, I'm honest. Oh, I'm not honest anymore. We must have lost the trait honest. I think we're merciful and crafty. Well, let's bribe the guy. I mean, there's no reason why we can't. We're a little bit crafty. A crafty man always does crafty things, so we're going to bribe him. Why not? Gets him back on our side again. And he is now going to be joining over here, and we shall launch a three-pronged attack with the First Legion taking on this 4K stack here belonging to Tindaria. The Conscripti of Magna Graecia will be taking on the settlement of Enna, and of course the Conscripti Italia, so the auxiliary forces of the Legion, will be taking on Aqua Gas. The troops are in place, we have the claims, and we can definitely go forward here. Let's go. Take Siculia, this is the war goal. We bring in our vassals, of course, and this should be just a basic formality. Before we start, we have guaranteed Massilia, of course. Now, if Carthage do go to war with them, we get called in, so Carthage will not be able to expand across the coast of North Africa unless they want to incur our wrath. We have some potential claims to make, and we need more claims, which we are going to be making along the coast of North Africa to get as many as them as possible. And we are also going to gear up for the Greek question. What I mean by the Greek question is we need to get claims in order to be ready for the Republic's inevitable conquest of Greece, which is bound to happen at some point down the line. Anyway, the war's been declared. Let's go. So we'll get our legion to take you out. We'll get you to take him out. And actually, we'll get you to take him out, and no, you can go there, and you can go there. This should be fine. We should take everybody out, which we have done. The battle there was quick and brutal. Here, the battle is also going to be quick and brutal. We have more trade offers, which we will definitely be trading with people. We are making a little bit of gold now, 7.54. I could have increased the Republic's armies, but the Republic needs the money for a lot of other things. Probably notably grand temples and grand theatres, notably grand theatres, because the Republic at the moment is a lot of like mix of different cultures. And we need more Roman. Now, the Roman culture is slowly spreading down here, but a couple of these grand theatres would definitely not go amiss to help with the pop conversion speed. We might have some in a few areas, but I don't think we have them everywhere. We don't. So we do need to stockpile some gold for all of that. Now here we've got three sieges going simultaneously, which is a good thing. Our navy here is going to come down, and I completely forgot to bring them in. So the navy, we need to give it a commander, and we shall give the command of the navy to Appius Claudius Cordex, the former consul, who will be given the position of admiral. We're going to send this former consul down to deal with the pesky Tindarian navy to destroy them and help blockade the port city of Tindaris. And there we go. So the navy has been crushed. We gain access to their ships for free. And what we also need to do is probably focus on another massive naval construction project with Carthage. They still have like less ships than me. But if you remember, Carthage are naval specialists. They have a load of lovely modifiers helping them take on the might of Rome. So we will be increasing the amount of ships that we have. We need a new praetor. And who shall we place? Spurius Sempronius Corvinus, or Hostus Fabius Licinius, or we could put Sebastianus Castellani Catus. These are all part of the Bonii faction. We are currently part of which faction? We are part of the Populares faction. So I reckon we're going to be... We might as well put we'll put Manius Curius Donatus, a member of our political party. They all stick together. It goes well for the party members to stick together. Anyway, in Acrogas, it is a level 2 fort, which is making it a little bit tricky to siege. Down here, it's a level 1 fort, so that shouldn't take too long to fall. And once these all go down, then we can definitely continue going down the mission trees. Lucius Papirius Cursor died of a heart attack. Poor man. And then we can go down Sicilian Foothold, Punic, Sicilia, which we can definitely do this as well. We can also get Land of the Tyrants, the Breadbasket, and then, of course, the first Provincia, which would be very nice indeed. And someone escaped. In a daring display of heroic bravado, Haliacionis Kephistodid has managed to escape from his captors. He was from Massalia, and he's fled. Oh no, he's fled to the land of Massalia. I can't remember who he was, but he's fled. He's fled. Massalia gains a claim on the province of Campania. Well, Massalia, if you want to take the province of Campania, be my guest to try and do so, at your risk and peril. Of course. I highly doubt they will be able to destroy the might of the glorious Roman Republic, who has been on a massive expansionist kind of spree. The siege of Enna has been won at last, so the auxiliary forces of Magna Graecia are now going to go and deal with these renegade pillagers, pillaging land, destroying livestock, and just kind of devastating the surrounding area. I'm going to catch up with his pesky, annoying 6k stack over here. It's going to be a decent battle, I do believe. If we can actually get there before they run. No, we can't. But we'll follow him. Here he still ran away. We shall find him and beat him over here. Acragos, the siege has been won. That has finally been taken. All that is left to take is to take these two forts here, which is needed. So you are going to go and help our ally in Nuceria, or our vassal, to take that down. At the sacking of Acragas, our guy is merciful. So let the looter be gentle. He's a merciful guy. He's not going to loot everybody and kill everybody. It does make sense. Let's go here now and catch this guy. Oh, I can't, so we'll go here instead. Where are you going? I dran him. So we'll go this way. Looks like we're going to have to keep going round. Yeah, he's too fast, basically. This is what's happening. Impatience is a virtue. So, Gaius Fabius Licinius has become increasingly restless of late. He believes that his stature is deserving of a key role in our government. He's approached our Senate, insisting we bestow such a role upon him. Indeed, given his prominence, perhaps we should consider this carefully. Well, we're a crafty man, so anything to make gold for the Republic will be nice. And of course, he's part of the Populist faction, or the Popularis faction. And it would be the right thing to do. So, Gaius Fabius Licinius, you will be given a position of something. What? I don't know. Gaius Fabius Licinius. will be given the position of Vulnerarius. Yep, you shall be Vulnerarius, my friend. And now we need to reorganize the Senate again. We need to get rid of a Fabii or a Claudii, which is the red or the yellow. The red or the yellow. Or I can get rid of this dude. You know, he's a Popularis. A red or a yellow. And we shall get rid of Drusus Fabius Gurgius of the Optimates. And we shall replace him with Proculus Cornelius Scipio, member of the Scipii family. That solves the problem. There we go. Now we're going to try and catch this guy now. We'll go into the Gesta. Is he attacking me? I think he is attacking me. So let's see what happens. Or are we catching him? So no, the fight is going on here. So again, he's got the right tactic, we've got the wrong tactic, but it doesn't matter. We have more men, more discipline, more everything, and we're flanking. The middle is gone. The heavy infantry have completely smashed him, and now all that's left is fleeing troops. They've completely gone back. The war is pretty much over now. I think all that we need to do is to take this little fort, and then we should control the whole of Sicily, and we should be able to create our first Provincia, which would be very nice indeed. Anyway, a new consul has arisen, Publius Sempronius Sophus. I think the previous one died. He died of a fever, so the consul Lucius Cornelius Vionus died of a fever at the ripe old age of 75, which means we now have a new consul to lead this war, Publius Sempronius Sophus. The former consul, by the way, this is definitely the former consul. He was one consul a few years back, and his father before him, I think, was consul. It's Publius Sempronius Sophus. His father was consul, and now he has become consul as well, which is absolutely awesome. This guy is self-controlled, humble, prominent, but a very arrogant man. Very interesting indeed. And it, of course, is the Optimates. It is back in control of the Senate. The Populares have been pushed back out. It's been more or less a kind of cat and mouse game between the Optimates and the Populares. That will be interesting to see where that one goes. We need a new oratory researcher, and he shall be placing his... probably... who does he want to place as a researcher? He shall be placing Drusus Fabius Gurgius of the same political faction as him. He's a very good charismatic man, and he shall definitely be placed in that position. The next thing this new consul needs to do is do this. Optimates Agenda, land for Appius Claudius Cadex, one of the former consuls as well. Enriching the elite is once again the agenda of the Optimates. This time, they've decided to gather around the head of the Claudii family, Appius Claudius Cordex. They claim that he deserves some land as repayment for his excellent service to the Senate. The Populares are loudly opposing the legislation, and it looks like the public land will be given to the Claudii family. So, we can give five holdings to Appius Claudius Cordex, or we refuse. Well, we're definitely going to give it. It's the Optimates, it's our political party. We gain 20 approval from the Optimates, and the land will go to Appius Claudius Cordex. Why not? They each kind of grease each other's hands. We have this little scorned family now, and we do need to do this, so we need to get rid of either a Claudii or Fabii, or red or a yellow. And, let's see, what about Quintus Fabius Gurgius? Can we purge you? No. Or we can get rid of the Praetor. We can get rid of the Praetor. And we could place Spurius Sempronius Corvinus. And that's what we shall do. We shall be placing... we'll get rid of the Populares, the vile Populares dictators. They're going to go away, and we shall replace him with Spurius Sempronius Corvinus, a member of the Bonii family, a more moderate section of our government, if I do believe. A more moderate section kind of in the centre. So we'll place him with that. There's going to be another battle going on here, I do believe, and it looks like, nope, it's over here, and our friends are going to win this fairly easily. What about you? What is this one doing? He is moving over here, which is fine. We have occupied the island over there, and now our legion is definitely going to march all the way over to Croton, and we shall get you ready to build our roads, and hopefully we'll link up Sicily as well. We do need to get a road network going in our glorious Roman cities to increase movement speed, assimilation speed, trade routes, and everything. 7% here. This is nearly going to fall. Hopefully it is not going to take very long indeed. Befitting stature. So the guy we gave position to, Gaius Fabius Lucinius, is actually very happy and gave us a whopping 300 gold in order to have his position. We've got more claims on Carthage and, of course, more claims on Sparta. We'll try and get some extra claims now on Carthage. There's more claims we can get, the better. for the Roman Republic, which is always nice indeed. We have the political influence, of course, and we shall try and get, of course, more claims on Macedon. That's what we shall need as well. We'll get claims over here, and we shall, of course, get ready to strike. Macedon don't want to fight the Roman Republic yet. Carthage still don't want to fight us at the moment, but we might have to do that for them. Caught red-handed, so hauled in front of the Senate, Quintus Fabius Gurgis is a sorry sight. Caught with bare hands in hand, which is a very unique way of trying to kill somebody. He's said to be ready to strike down at Claudia Secunda in a brutal act of violence. Luckily, passers-by were quick enough to act and prevent this terrible deed, and now have the unenviable task of passing judgment on the wicked Quintus. We shouldn't be too hasty, so what are we like? We're self-controlled, humble, prominent, but arrogant. So we shouldn't be too hasty, or the dungeon will straighten him out. I was a member of my political faction, so we shouldn't be too hasty. We'll protect the members of our political faction to the very end. Anyway, you are going to actually go into Regium here, and we'll get the road building from there. The name of the Glorious Republic. So, build the road, and we shall build the road that goes through here, into Croton. Of course, then we'll go through the middle, and down the side there, and of course, then we'll link back up to Laos. And that does work for me, then to Cassentia and to Turii, and then all of this is going to be nicely linked up indeed. Then we shall take care of Sicily once all that is under control, but I think maybe a road network on the southern boot down here is going to be vital. The next thing we probably need to do is improve the opinion with our dear vassals, because Rome will need to integrate them at some point, and improving their opinion will help us integrate them into our republic, which is something we do need to do. The same goes for Nuceria. We shall start improving opinion. We do a little bit more, and when we hit the acquired number, we shall integrate them into the Roman Republic. Culture-wise, it is all changing pretty decently. Up here we have, of course, the right policy going quite fast. But we need more, and for that we're going to need, of course, the Grand Theatres, which we shall build once we finish this war. We shall do a little construction project, I think. Publius falls ill. Publius Sempronius Sophus has fallen ill, which is a shame. So we need to make sure that we can heal ourselves. How much gold does he have? Not enough in order to start treatment. He doesn't have enough gold in his personal coffers. However, he can hand himself a holding, which he is going to do to try and increase his revenue. He's going to hand himself a holding. He's a man in power and he controls power. So why not grant himself a holding? Anyway, the war is nearly over. 35% here for that to fall. The road is being built nicely, which is fantastic. 42%. Please fall at the end of the month, hopefully for the praise the gods, Mars, Jupiter. Oh, no, it didn't. See, that didn't work this time. It's a shame. It's a big, big shame. Are we still building ships or not? No, we're not. We're 91 ships. We've got quite a few. I do want to get rid of the trireme because we don't need that type of unit. Carthage's navy is still at 56. We still outnumber them by about 30-odd ships. A little bit more than 30 ships, but we outnumber them pretty significantly. He's building his road up to Croton, which is great, and the siege of Calcutta has been won. The war is over, and we can now peace out for all the remaining pieces of territory in Sicily, and then which means now we can control literally everything. Oh no, oh yes we can I? Can we? I think we can. And we can. So all of this is now under control. But to double check that we've done the right thing, everything is ceded to Rome. This is fantastic. And the Agrigantine elite and the Tindarian elite and the Sicilian elite. So what do we do with these guys? Well, we're self-controlled, humble and prominent. We're not necessarily aggressive or cruel. But let's see what these are like. Now we have some of them that are Greek. And of course, we don't want that. The Sicilians will be welcomed into our realm, and the rest who are Greek will be banished. And we get some extra relics, by the way. We get the Brazen Bull of Phalaris as well, which is very nice. And we get the Copper Shield of Athena. And we shall banish all of the ones of class and put the rest to the sword. That will be what happens to the Greek families. But anyway, the Greek families of Siculia. We've got the families, we've got Servius, Lucius, and Hostus. We shall welcome them all into the Republic due to the fact that they are of Italic culture, or part of the Italic culture group, and they shall all be welcomed. This is fantastic. Now this is all done. The fort here, we need to get rid of that because, of course, we can't maintain all the fort levels. It's costing us too much gold, and we don't really need it anymore. We've got a fort in Agrigentum over here. Got a fort also in Syracuse. And we have a level 2 fort here that we don't really need. That is going to go away. And that is that done. Now, let's do this. So we can now finally do Sicilian Footholds. So let's see what the Sicilian Foothold holds for the Republic. Foothold in Siculia. The strategic city of Messana has returned to Italic hands. At the end, this is nigh, and the end is nigh for the Greeks and Punics who still occupy prosperous Sicilia. With newly conquered territory comes the inevitable parceling of land and the distribution of promises, but it's up to us to decide which township will become the Roman hub of the area. Either Messana, the strategic crossing, Catana, which holds the most fertile ground. A bastion could be made of Colate, or will not get involved with the planning. Well, we shall make it on Catana here on the farmlands, and up to 5 pops in Catana become Roman. It gains Roman Coloniae, increases pop assimilation speed. We gain 4 Roman freemen there, which is going to be exactly what we want and need. Now that is done, we can do the Punics of Sicilia and determine the future of Punic Sicilia. So the Carthaginian determination to hold Sicilia is fierce, persisting despite Agathocles' invasion of Carthage. We will succeed where he failed and drive him back to the sea. Let's do this. The Conquest of Circania. We have taken the jewel of the Carthaginian trading empire. May they rot in the African heat, while the riches of Sicilia and her great cities are laid to us. We're going to either choose Lilybaeum is a perfect site, which is a Carthaginian or Punic stronghold to the west of the island. The port at Panormus here next door to it could be a good place, or Heraclea Manoa. Well, Heraclea Manoa is on farmlands, it's got a lot of pops, and it's not Punic, which means Heraclea Manoa is the real jewel of Sicilia. We'll gain 8 pops from there, will become Roman, we gain assimilation speed, and Heraclea Manoa gains 4 Roman freemen. That is definitely the right thing. We could do sulfurous investments. So, Tyndaris permanently gets Sicilian sulfur trade. Tyndaris is over here. That I'm sure it is. And it would increase its pop capacity, reduce slave need for surplus, and increase its pop output. What does it produce? It produces a base metal. And 4 Roman slaves, 4 Roman slaves in Rome moved to Tyndaris. Well, why not? Let's do it. Let's enact it. Enact sulfurous investments. So, from religious purification to exotic dyes, the otherwise foul-smelling substance sulfur can be used in manners various. The trade in this substance grows ever more valuable, however, as philosophers and scientists look to enhance the production of valuable metals by using it in wondrous processes, it would be wise to cash in on this growing phenomenon. Why not? Thank you very much indeed. Now, back to the matter at hand. Tyrants, the land of tyrants. Syracusan and Acragan tyrants have been brought misery to Sicilia and Brutium, such as the brazen bull of Phalaris. It's time to restore the decency to the rich island. However, in Rome, we have got a few relics, and I do want to check what we've actually got. We did get the brazen bull of Phalaris, which gives integrated culture happiness, and the copper shield of Athena, which is really good indeed. And I think we might actually see if we can swap out something. The pop capacity is nice, the pop assimilation is as well. What are the pops like here? A lot of them are Roman, so I don't really need that. So we are going to replace the Tomb of Romulus with the... The Copper Shield of Athena is nice. And I think we shall go with the... Yep, the Copper Shield of Athena plus 2 import routes. We will definitely deposit that in there. And now we shall continue doing this. So the land of tyrants. So Syracuse, which withstood the Athenian expedition and birthed the most depraved tyrants, as Agathocles, has finally fallen. Their lands have returned to Italic rule, though they prepared fine cities for us to move into. How nice of them. With newly conquered territories comes the inevitable parceling of land. So we can either choose Syracuse as the perfect area for this kind of Roman Colonia, Agrigentum, or Leonti. Well, it's got to be Syracuse. The old capital of the despots. So 6 pop become Roman, we gain some freemen, assimilation speed goes up, it can only be Syracuse, of course. It could only be that. And now we have the breadbasket. Sicilia is famed for the abundance of its wheat. Securing these valuable cornucopia will ensure the food supply of Rome and her legions for the foreseeable future. And of course, Rome always needs to rely on external sources of food to feed its ever-growing city. It later came to depend on Egypt, but now we must depend on Sicilia, and we shall do this. Get this done. And of course, the battles have finished. We shall disband the levies. Get that juicy military experience. Our navy is going to go and dock in the city of Tarentum, and we shall continue our road building. And then we also need to prepare for more wars. We have some extra trade, which we will trade with. We'll trade with Menapia as well in some base metals, of course. That's always a good thing to do. And we have some extra trade routes. We are going to get a surplus of earthenware. We'll trade this from Cappadocia for some extra national freeman output. And we shall also go for some... what shall we also go for? Olives could be pretty nice. Wood we've already got. Horses we have got. Fish we have got. Honey could be nice. Let's get honey, because an extra surplus of honey would increase Diplo reputation. Get that from Egypt, and then if I can get a surplus, it means that we could then import some extra and get that +3 Diplo rep, which would increase the speed at which we integrate our vassals. Can we do some provincial investments? Oh, I have 2 free investments left. Well, our consul's going to invest in trade routes. Of course. No reason why he's not going to invest in trade routes. Anyway, the road to Croton has been done. And now he shall move to Laos and go straight down here. I'm not going to link up these. It's pretty useless. Emporion wants to trade. No problem at all. We are losing gold now. Oh no, we're gaining gold back now. It's just not because it's the end of the month needs to arrive. In Laos, we have arrived and we shall now link up. Nope, we shall now link up here and all the way down here. And then we shall try and work on the other side of Italy. Anyway, the bread basket's still going. And then I think the Roman Republic will turn its eyes towards Carthage again and get the Second Punic War going. Before we try to make any form of advance on Greece, I think it's going to be vitally important that we deal with Carthage once and for all, and start taking possessions in North Africa for the glory of the Republic, and for Mars, and for Jupiter, and for everybody else. Only a couple more road pieces are left to do. Can we already integrate? No, we need a little bit more in order to integrate them. Of course, the bellicose stance doesn't help. Anyway, the breadbasket of the Mediterranean. Sicilia is famed for the quality and abundance of its grain. With the island under Roman control, we can increase production, ensure the people of Rome will never go without their daily bread. The sheaves must flow. We gain local tax plus 25% for 118 months, and that's in Sicily. And we also gain local pop growth over there, so that is fantastic. And now the breadbasket is finished, we can do the first Provincia. Upon completion, we gain 2 free province investments. Rome will gain claim on all Hispanian territories owned by Carthage and her subjects, which is awesome. So let's see. The first Provincia, we've established control over the islands of the Mediterranean, supplanting the ancient Greco-Carthaginian hegemony. What we shall do with these new holdings, peopled by foreigners of no relation to our own blood and in remote places, far from the ears of the Roman masses. The islands could become very profitable if properly managed, but perhaps we should concentrate first on contriving sense of loyalty and obedience. People of these islands shall soon call Rome a home. Every owned province in the islands of Corsica, Sardinia, and Sicilia receives a metropolitan provincia, which increases integrated culture speed, pop conversion speed, and desired citizen ratio. Or it looks like we are going to need more shackles. We can make it into an agricultural provincia, and we gain slave output and local desired ratio. Every owned island on the province of Corsica, Sardinia, and Sicilia receives this. I think this is where the people of these islands will soon call Rome a home, and that's what we shall do. We'll get a metropolitan provincia. And what do we make on taxes? Not as much as commerce. So we shall make this a metropolitan provincia. Of course. And now that has finished, we have 2 free province investments, which will definitely be applied to Rome, of course. And now that is done, we should have claims over all Carthaginian Hispanian lands, which we do. Which gives us a load of claims over here. We have another set of claims, of course, over in this area, which is very nice indeed. But let's see what we can do next with the mission, so we can finish this. The first Provincia has now been ended, and we have an option of 4 missions, and of course, the Punic rivals here is long as the Punic city of Carthage dominated trade in the western Mediterranean, extending their dominions across fertile Africa, the populous islands of the Internal Sea, the rich lands of Hispania, and even, it said, beyond the Pillars of Hercules. If we are to become the foremost power in the area, a reckoning with Carthage is inevitable. They will not readily forego the trappings of their vast empire. Conquer or subjugate Carthage. We could head towards Gaul if we wanted to, conquer or subjugate Cisalpine Gaul, or subdue Greece. We must subdue our old enemy. Greece is the one we need to take out. The Carthaginians are the ones we need to take. So we shall start the mission to subdue Carthage. Punic rivals. Let's go. So, Naval Parity. We must learn the ways of the sea if we are to challenge the Punic navies. Shipbuilding, command, and morale. Each must be brought up to the standards of Ulysses himself. Rome has at least 20 more ships than Carthage, and I can gain Naval Parity, which increases ship recruit speed and maintenance cost, which would be very good. Deter Iberian support. At least one Hispanian country exists that is not always subject of Rome. Rome will attempt to turn the nations, the Iberian nations, against Carthage, which is very interesting. And we can do Hispanian dominance, which is what we need to go towards. And Rome has a territory or subjects in the mainland regions of Tarraconensis, Contestania, Baetica, Lusitania, Galatia, or Tarraconensis. Okay. Upon completion, we gain some commerce income. I gain claims in mainland Hispania. So I need claims in... I need territory in some of these lands. Only a little bit. Not much, but only a bit. And then Noita Carthage, which is... Hispania is not enough. The Punic Hydra must be cut down, where is its head, if we are to confine them to Africa and halt their wild ambitions for hegemony. So, Carthage and her subjects do not hold any territory outside the regions of Africa, Cyrenaica, and Mauritania. Rome and her subjects have at least 3 times as many territories combined as Carthage. That could be done. Then we can do Undermine Allies. We can undermine their allies. Debt of Carthage. Carthage will present with an ultimatum, become a tributary or go to war. That is super interesting. Demand servitude. Carthago delenda est. I can either get rid of them or wipe them out. And then, of course, Punic clients. Oh, this is going to be so much. This is going to be brilliant. I am really looking forward to this. And I know the Roman Republic is. And our multitude of consuls is getting ready, and we are definitely going to go down this route first. We'll definitely try and wipe them out of Iberia first before they get more land here. I think we can definitely start pushing towards this area in the region of Baetica here, which will then allow us to keep them locked in North Africa, which would be absolutely brilliant. And then, of course, we can then start pushing towards mainland Africa and take out their glorious city of Carthage, which will be put under Roman rule. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. This is the end of this episode. If you enjoyed things, of course, please don't hesitate to hit that like button down below. And if you want to see some more Imperator Rome roleplay, then of course, please consider subscribing to the channel. But before I do leave, I do want to apologise for not putting up an episode earlier than this. I did want to get one going up on Sunday, as well as today on Wednesday. But of course, with the horrible announcement towards Imperator Rome, and it's kind of being put on the back burner for a while, well, I didn't really have the energy or the time, really, because I was busy kind of considering other things. So that is the reason why. But anyway, as per usual, thank you so much for being here, and I'll hope to catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.